A Look at Health is sponsored by MVP Healthcare, dedicated to creating healthier communities. Learn more at discovermvp.com.
Well, welcome back, everyone. It's Monday, so I'm here with Dr. Paul. So put on your smart cap, or better yet, you know those helmets that have the little antennas on them that...
Ones with the tubes that come down and feed into your mouth? No, not those.
No.
That's spring break
Oh,
helmets.
should we call this one brain candy then? What do you think?
I like that name.
I knew you'd like that too.
You are witty.
Oh, I know.
I like
well,
that.
It's Monday. Hey, what we're talking about today is brain health.
Yeah.
Now, that's something you don't ordinarily think of, but something that, as you've discussed with me prior to coming on air tonight, just really important.
Vitally important.
Okay,
and it's ubiquitous. Yeah, I mean, brain health is for everybody. You know, I think we sometimes associate it or gear it more toward the elderly, right? As we get older, we want to make sure that we're maintaining a healthy brain health because we want to make sure that our cognition is there, our what we call executive function, our ability to think about higher brain function activities and processes. But it spans the age range, right? I mean, because it affects young kids and kids that aren't taking care of their brain the right way in their school with productivity and behavior, emotional health. So brain health is ubiquitous. It's for everybody and it's everywhere.
Gotcha. You just said ubiquitous. So your brain's okay?
I hope so.
Yeah, that's good.
Is that the right use?
I think so. Physical exercise, mental exercise, and diet.
Good.
Let's run it down.
Yeah, let's break it down.
How do you exercise your brain?
Yes, good. So, you know, traditionally, we know that any type of exercise, actually though predominantly aerobic exercise, that which we can do rhythmically with our full body for an extended period of time at a somewhat submaximal level, seems to be really helpful and impactful on the brain health.
And why is that?
Why is that? Good. Because it increases our brain blood flow. And blood flow is the key denominator in helping our brain stay healthy, right? I mean, think of all health conditions that compromise our blood flow, particularly into our brain, usually is going to result in a poor functioning brain. So if we can maximize the ability of brain to travel into the blood to travel into the brain in a healthy way, that's good. Now, we have gatekeepers in the brain, so we can't let in, you know, a huge amount of blood into the brain. It's regulated, but in that tight range of blood that can enter into the brain, it's really helpful. So exercise of a low level, submaximal, about 60% of your maximum effort. So the equivalent of us maybe going out for a nice easy jog, or for some people a walk, a fast walk, that stimulates the greatest amount of brain blood flow. And why that's important, Jesse, is because it's associated with an increase in what we call neurogenesis. So more neurons, brain neurons, we call it plasticity, neuroplasticity. So we have greater nerve generation, but also angiogenesis, which is an increase in new blood vessels. So if we can exercise at that critical level of 60% of our maximum, that's the most healthy for us.
So say you're at the gym. You're on one of those exercise bicycles, and there's a video screen up there. I'm not suggesting passive video, you watch the movie, that's probably not actually helping you too much, but it is a way to correlate some of that physical exercise with some video so you can train your brain, right?
Absolutely. So these brain games are really important. So we can do things like static brain games, Luminosity and some of these other Luminosity. And those are really helpful, crossword puzzles and Sudoku. Those are great, but if we can take those brain games and integrate them with an exercise modality, such as riding a bike. And so I have a colleague of mine, a very close friend at Union College, Kay Anderson Hanley, who I've collaborated with together, and we've put together some research studies that have combined exercising with these brain games. So exergaming, they call it.
Exergaming, that's great.
And that has been shown to increase brain health.
All right, so we're talking about physical activity here.
Physical activity.
As always, there's a direct linkage to diet.
There is. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go there for a minute.
Okay, so diet plays a critical role as well. So we know that the exercise with these brain games simultaneously at the same time that are interrelated with each other, that enhances brain health. But independent of the exercise itself, diet also plays a huge role. And so what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're feeding and nourishing our brain in the same way that we do the rest of our body. And some of the things that the brain responds really well to are things like what we call essential fatty acids, omega-3 fatty acids from fish, from nuts and seeds, flaxseed, walnuts, olive oil are great sources of this omega-3. Other sources are a substance that's found in eggs called choline, and that helps develop this neurotransmitter called acetylcholine, which is really important for our brain chemistry. We also have healthy food sources in things like spinach and green leafy vegetables, folic acid found in those green leafy vegetables. Tea. Yerba mate and green tea also have some really powerful, healthy antioxidants that our brain likes to function better.
Got just jumping to the other side briefly, I'll never forget, I was in a supermarket once, and the kid in front of me was going absolutely berserk in the cart.
Only once?
And I was looking at what the mother was buying, and it was all sugar-laden cereals and soda and all this other stuff. And she says to the kid, she said, "You finish that Pop-Tart or you don't get dessert." And I swear to God, I know it's funny, but it really stuck in my head because this was a sugar high, if ever. So on the other side of it, soda's not good.
Soda's not good. In fact, if I had to put my finger on one of the primary kind of bad guys in nutrition, soda would be at the top of the list. And I think most healthcare professionals would agree wholeheartedly. So what happens when we drink a soda is it causes this massive thrust of simple sugar into the bloodstream. And that floods every system in our body, including our brain. As a result, we have a release of a hormone called insulin from our pancreas that takes that glucose and disposes of it. So what ends up happening is when you drink a soda, you have this massive roller coaster peak of blood sugar, followed by a massive crash. And so just think about the emotional and mental and behavioral issues that are impacting then the brain. You know, and so these young kids are on a roller coaster. And there's nothing to blame other than, in most cases, you know, the mom or dad who's
in a young child as well as a senior, you're really affecting your productivity.
Absolutely.
So if
cognition, emotion.
So whether you're in school trying to learn, or whether you're an adult trying to further your education, or just want to live a full, independent life at some age, right? When that all...
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, let's end on a good note, except I can't remember what the good note is, so I think
what were we just talking about?
You know, there's going to be plenty of puns about this. Would you like a soda?
No, you better have something much healthier than that.
Okay,
maybe a green spinach salad with some mandarin orange slices
okay, I'll go for that.
Yeah.
Well, good, thank you. Okay,
thank you.
I'll see you next week, and if we can think of something to talk about next week, we'll do that, right?
That sounds great.
Terrific. Thanks, Paul.
All right, Jesse.
See this interview again. If you have any questions for Dr. Paul, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.